Do you need to overcome your mental blocks to help you achieve your goals? I'm here to help you. My name is Dr. Erica Steele. I'm a board certified naturopathic doctor. I hold 7 degrees in my field, all in the natural healthcare space. I like to say that I went to school so you don't have to. All this month, we're doing deep dives into a holistic mindset, how to have it, and really flush it out so that you can have a healthy and prosperous 2025. If you are interested in joining our private community, go ahead and click the link below. We do have a free part of the community, but if you're looking to do the deep dive, where we really get into things and kind of go through everything, including our live webinar this month where we go really deep into it, as well as another bonus webinar and tons of free resources and content, including our 7-day to healthy eating challenge. So if you're interested in that, definitely click the link below. I'd love to have you and help you really start 2025 with a healthy and holistic mindset. All right, let's start off with some stats. So 80% of success in achieving health goals is psychological, right? According to the American Psychological Association, 80%, that's really high. And so it's more than just a feeling, right? There is a thought pattern that happens that is actually driving you to be motivated or demotivated. Also, 75% of people quit their health journey due to mental blocks, such as self-doubt or fear, right? And so that's according to the Journal of Behavioral Medicine. So why do we have blocks, right? A lot of times we have these blocks because there's resistance that comes up. We're making a change. We're doing so good. We got strives going. Yay, 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 go me. And then life, right? Either we have to work late or the kids are sick or any one of the lifing things that happen. And that can be a block. It can stop us. I always like to tell patients, look, you're going to fall off the horse. Like that's just a part of it. Relapse is a part of change, but it's how quickly you get up, right? You get yourself sorted and you get up and you keep fighting, you keep moving forward, right? So let's start off by how to identify a block. So let's say you have a health goal and you're executing it, and then all of a sudden it gets difficult, it gets hard, you stop, you stop the actions. When you stopped the actions, you're in a breakdown, and that's how you know that you have a block. So when you have a block and you're in a breakdown, the first thing you want to ask yourself is, what's stopping me? Like, what's going on? I'm willing to see this differently. I'm willing to do my part. I'm willing to transform this. Show me, right? I call that asked and answered. And so whenever I have challenges with blocks that I can't see, because a lot of times these blocks are coming from our subconscious mind, so we don't have access to it. And so it comes up usually when we're triggered with an emotion, or we're in a breakdown, or we're ineffective in whatever it is we're trying to achieve. And so I like to bring that awareness back to self and begin to ask higher self, what's going on? Show me, right? And it's very mellow. I'm not like forcing myself. It's just kind of like, okay, I identify this is going on. I identify this block. Show me more about it, right? And so some of the blocks that can come up is a fear of failure, perfectionism, I can't do it, powerlessness, all kinds of different thoughts, and feelings from largely the past, because your conscious mind, your subconscious mind have to be congruent, meaning they have to agree in order for action to take place. So if your subconscious mind is saying, you can't, but your conscious mind is going, come on, guys, let's do it, you're not in agreement. And so you're going to be in a breakdown and you're going to be stopped. And so that stopping point is really what you need to reframe. So when we're talking about reframing, we want to be self-aware, ask ourselves about, what is this mental block? If you need, more details on that, definitely check out my video on mental blocks. But also, you can join our group and we can get more into it to really help refine, because you never know. People have so many different, I've treated over 40,000 patients. And let me tell you, sometimes the mental gymnastics that we do to avoid our goals is just Olympic level, if I can even say that. So being aware of our negative thoughts. When I was doing a lot of this work, and I still do it, but in the beginning, when I was like really like, I had so much, right? I would sit down and I would meditate and my brain would just go crazy. Or I would sit down and meditate and all these emotions that I hadn't dealt with would come up. And so I really used journaling as just such an easy way. And journaling actually accesses the subconscious mind. So let's say I'm stuck, like I don't even know what's going on. I'm trying to achieve something and I can't. I will pull out paper and just start writing, right? And it's very free form. Now, naturally, we do have a personal growth and development course. It's a year-long course. And if you're one of these people that needs a prompt every day, it definitely has it. We also have a 30-day to journaling course as well, if you're interested in those journaling prompts. But a lot of times we can just get on paper and just vomit out what's going on. Like, I can't do this. I'm frustrated. I have a lot of fear. All of those kinds of things. I feel this, I feel that. Whatever it is that's going on, just dump it out on a piece of paper, get it all out, right? That's the first part. And then you can start looking for patterns. And then you can say, oh, I see this, right? So now I want to go, okay, so let's say I can't do this, right? I can now go, you know what? Is that true for me, right? Yes or no. Sometimes you'll go, yeah, that's true. Do I want this to be true? Yes or no, right? Most of the time, you don't want that to be true. So if I don't want this to be true, what do I want to be true instead? So in our example of I can't do this, I'm going to make it into I'm working on improving this every day. Or my personal favorite, everything is in perfect order, regardless of appearances, whether I believe this or not. So that's really important, especially for really creative thinkers. If you're one of these really busy people and you're always thinking, and you're jumping to conclusions, again, like an Olympic sport, it may be helpful to write this down and then begin to reframe it into something that is more workable, more of a growth mindset, more of positive thinking and less of negative. I don't want you to avoid the negative thinking. So never having any negative thoughts is not good. That's a lot to do with the metaphysical culture. And it's like, oh, we don't want to talk about negativity. No, do the deep dives, do the shadow work, look at all the bad stuff. When I was first in this process of doing it, I didn't have a me. I had a me, and that was it. I had me, myself, and I didn't have a support system like I've created for you guys. And so, because it was so challenging to keep my mind in a positive place, especially when all of these, actions are happening and all of these things are happening, and sometimes largely outside of my control. But it was really my mindset and my actions that really kind of played into this. So I really work on when I used to do this, I would have journals all over my house. And if anybody picked them up, they would literally think I had Tourette's just because I didn't care what I wrote. I just needed to get it out. So if somebody pissed me off, or if somebody made me sad, or if something sparked on the television and I'm crying, those commercials are just crazy, I would stop and I would go, you know what? There's something here. Let me get this out. Let me flush it out. And over time, it became easier and easier to the point now where I don't even really, I do journal still, but now I can identify it just by sitting and being with myself because I've built that muscle and that relationship. All right. So, next tip. So, we want to break our large goals, right, into micro steps. So, I like to call this execution for fulfillment. So, when we have a specific goal like losing weight, like let's say I want to lose 20 pounds by a certain date for an event, right? So I'm very specific with my goals. Now I go, okay, the event is, let's say 3 months away. Let's see, a pound a week. How am I going to lose that? Okay, I need to prep my meals. What are my macros, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So now these are much smaller, manageable, actionable things. I would often get overwhelmed because I'd have a ton of stuff to do and lots of people demanding of me. And so I would always grab my notebook and just literally dump it down, especially if like I felt like really overwhelmed about all the things I had to do. Oh my God, I have to do this, I have to do that. Where do I start? I would start with my notebook, getting it fleshed out, and then slowly kind of work from there. And so I like to also really stretch my time. So instead of committing, let's say, to an hour long of this, I may break it up into like 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, 40 minutes there, etc. Breaking it up into these smaller chunks just so it's a little bit more manageable throughout the day. I'd also do things like habit stacking as well. So like every time I get up to get some water, I do 10 squats or something like that where I can stack one habit into another. The other thing, we've talked about this before, is visualizing overcoming challenges. And so imagine yourself succeeding even with all of these obstacles. So you can picture yourself finishing a workout even if you didn't like how it started, or you can visualize yourself, scaling over all of these different obstacles that are coming up. There's also a really cool meditation technique that I've done and I've taught before, where you choose your wise counsel. So let's say you're really stuck with a challenge, right? You go into meditation and you call in whoever your wise counsel is. And that person can be living or not. And really bringing that person's essence in and bringing that person's awareness in and having that person, you and that person having an inner dialogue to really kind of get to the bottom of it. You would be surprised at how much just little tiny nuggets, subtle things, subtle clues that are given to you just with that powerful practice. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about is seeking accountability. So, accountability, while I believe accountability is self-propelled, I don't necessarily look for external accountability because my standards are crazy. So I really hold myself accountable through my tracking. So things like, doing my health tracking, or, monitoring my numbers in my business, or any of those things, or even monitoring my progress on social media, right? All helps me to improve my accountability to myself and definitely encourages me. I have very frank conversations with myself. I definitely don't let myself off the hook, but I also do it with grace and love and dignity because I recognize all the different challenges and also recognize the miracle that I am literally to this day. So that's some of the things you can also share with a friend. And if you join our group this month, you will definitely have lots of accountability and lots of support. So if you are interested in really getting into a deep dive into how you can have a holistic mindset, maybe you've been frustrated about your healthcare, maybe you've been frustrated about your relationships, maybe you just feel totally out of control or something feels off or your body just doesn't feel in balance, this is a great way to start the new year with a holistic mindset so that you can really help yourself heal in the new year.